I still remember the exact second she decided I didn't belong there. She didn't say anything at first. She just looked at my hoodie, then at my face, then back at the seat number on the wall like it had personally offended her. You know that look? The one that says someone made a mistake and I'm about to fix it. That was the moment everything started. And yeah, I didn't know it then, but that look was about to cost her way more than a flight across the Atlantic. Let me rewind a little. That morning at Eastbrook International Airport felt like every other business travel morning. Loud announcements, rolling suitcases, the smell of burnt coffee and money. I was in the Horizon First Lounge, sitting in the corner with my laptop open, headphones on, trying to finish some notes before boarding. I was tired, not just physically, but in that deep way you get tired of always being watched, always being judged before you even speak. I was wearing a dark hoodie, joggers, clean sneakers. Comfortable, practical, nothing flashy. But to some people, comfort looks like disrespect. She walked in like she owned oxygen. Late 50s, perfect hair, expensive blazer posture, trained by decades of being obeyed. Let's call her Cynthia. She snapped at staff, corrected how they poured her wine, complained it wasn't chilled enough. Everyone around her shrank a little. I noticed, but I stayed focused on my screen, until I felt her staring. I didn't look up right away. I didn't need to. I felt that stare my whole life. The kind that measures you, reduces you, files you into a box without asking permission. When I finally glanced over, she wasn't subtle. She wasn't embarrassed. She was offended. Like my presence was a stain on her morning. I ignored it. Boarding was announced soon after, and honestly, I just wanted to get on the plane and sleep. That flight, by the way, was Horizon Air 872 non-stop to Berlin. First class. Seat 2C. My seat. Bought. Paid for. Assigned. No mystery there. Cynthia boarded first, of course. Marched straight down the jet bridge like a general. When I boarded a minute later and turned left into the cabin, I saw her stop dead in the aisle. She looked at me, then at her seat, then back at me. Her mouth tightened. I sat down, buckled in, and put my headphones back on. I could feel the tension radiating off her like heat from asphalt. It didn't take long. A flight attendant stepped over, cheerful, professional. Cynthia didn't bother lowering her voice. "Why is he sitting here?" she asked, pointing at me like I was luggage. The attendant blinked. "Ma'am," that seat, Cynthia said sharply. "That man doesn't belong in first class." I slid one headphone off. I wasn't angry yet, mostly curious. The attendant checked her tablet. "Sir is assigned to seat 2C. Cynthia laughed, not amused, disbelieving. "There's been a mistake. He needs to be moved." The attendant stayed calm. "There's no mistake." That's when Cynthia's eyes hardened. "Look at him. He's dressed like a college dropout. I paid nearly $10,000 for this seat. I'm not flying next to someone like that. Someone like that." I felt that familiar burn in my chest. The urge to defend myself, to explain, to justify. But I stayed quiet. I'd learned long ago that silence sometimes scares people more than words. She wasn't done. She pressed the call button again and again. When the attendant returned, Cynthia leaned closer, her voice dripping with fake concern. "I feel unsafe. How do I know he's not a thief, or worse?" I turned to her then, calm, steady. "Ma'am, I'm just trying to get to Berlin." That sent her over the edge. "Do not speak to me," she snapped. "This is exactly the problem. No respect." The attendant warned her to lower her voice. Cynthia stood up instead. "Either he moves, or I'll make sure this airline hears about it. I know people." The plane doors were still open. Engines hadn't started yet. The tension felt thick enough to chew. Then she pulled out her phone. She shoved it inches from my face. "Flash on." "Smile," she said. "Security's going to love this." That's when the attendant stepped between us. "Ma'am, you cannot film passengers without consent." Cynthia shoved her, not hard, but deliberate. That sound, the dull thump of someone hitting the galley wall, changed everything. The attendant didn't yell. She just picked up the interphone and called the cockpit. A code. Calm voice. Professional words that meant something serious. Cynthia realized she might have gone too far. Instead of backing down, she doubled down. As the plane started to move, she grabbed her glass of pre-flight champagne and threw it across the aisle, right at me. The liquid soaked my hoodie, my laptop, my headphones, dripped onto the floor. The cabin went silent. I looked down at my keyboard liquid seeping where it definitely shouldn't be and felt something click. Not rage, resolve. "Okay," I said quietly. "Now we've got a real problem." The plane jerked to a stop. The cockpit door opened. The captain stepped out. Tall, calm. The kind of calm that comes from authority, not arrogance. He took in the scene in seconds. Wet electronics. Shaken crew member. Cynthia standing there like she was daring the universe to side with her. "Who did this?" he asked. Cynthia started talking immediately. Security threat, provocation, fear. Every buzzword she could find. The captain listened, then turned to me. "Did you threaten her?" "No, sir." Other passengers spoke up, one by one. Witnesses, facts. The captain nodded once, then spoke into his radio. "Cancel pushback. Request airport police." Cynthia's face drained of color. "You can't do this," she hissed. "I have places to be." "So do we," the captain replied. "Sit down." When the officers boarded, Cynthia sprang up like she was greeting rescuers. She demanded charges. Accused me of fraud, of hacking, of lying. One officer asked for my ID. I handed it over. He looked at it, then at me, then at my laptop. Then he froze. He leaned toward his partner and whispered my name. Everything shifted. Not because I was special, but because her story collapsed under the weight of reality. Cynthia was escorted off the plane in handcuffs, still screaming about lawyers and influence. People clapped. I didn't. I just sat there tired. But karma wasn't done. The champagne had damaged my laptop battery. Smoke, real smoke, emergency protocols. Everyone had to deplane. Hundreds of people delayed because one woman couldn't stand sitting next to someone she underestimated. Later, I learned what happened after. Charges, court, consequences. Her husband leaving, her social circle disappearing. Her name becoming shorthand for entitlement gone wrong. Me. I replaced the laptop. Gave the keynote I was flying to. Kept moving. And here's the thing. This story isn't about money, or class, or winning. It's about how easy it is to look at someone and decide they don't belong. How dangerous that instinct is. How fast it can destroy you. So tell me what you think. Was it justice? A warning? Or just karma doing its thing? Have you ever been judged before you spoke or watched it happen to someone else? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Argue if you want. I'll be reading. And if this story hit close to home, share it. Sometimes the only way people learn is by seeing where that kind of thinking really leads.